بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله ثم أما بعد يقول الله سبحانه وتعالى واضرب لهم مثل الحياة الدنيا كماء أنزلناه من السماء. Set an example or a parable for them. This life, this worldly life, is like water that we bring forth from the sky. So this life, like water coming from the sky. That's the example. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us examples in the Quran so we can relate and understand the message in much clearer and closer way. Some people understand it as is, and some people need someone else to explain it for them. Those who understand it are knowledgeable people. That's why if you read an example in the Quran and you don't relate to it or you don't understand it well, then you're not knowledgeable. Then that requires you to feel bad, because this life is for two: knowledgeable or someone seeks knowledge. And you have to fall in one of those two categories. You have the knowledge or you're looking and working hard for the knowledge. The person used to, before, when they read an ayah that has an example in it and they cannot understand it, they used to cry, because they conclude that I'm not from the knowledgeable people. Clearly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in Surah Al-Ankabut, وَتِلْكَ الْأَمْثَالُ نَضْرِبُهَا لِلنَّاسِ وَمَا يَعْقِلُهَا إِلَّا الْعَالِمُونَ. Such we set forth parables and examples for people, and only knowledgeable people can understand and reflect. In this ayah, Imam al-Qurtubi rahimahullah, he told us why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala compared this life to the water that's coming from the sky. He said, الماء لا يستقر وكذلك الدنيا. He said water doesn't settle in one place. Some of it, the earth takes it, some of it settles, some of it flows, and it goes everywhere. So it's not staying in one state, one place. Such is dunya. It's never the same. You feel bad today, give it a day or two, you feel good. You feel healthy, then you feel sick. You got money, then you lost your money. You don't have money, then you become rich. So you keep changing, and that's what dunya is. Dunya keeps changing on you, just like water. It keeps changing, the water that comes from the sky. الماء لا يبقى على حال كذلك الدنيا تفنى. Water doesn't stay there in one state or forever. Some of it evaporates, some of it people drink it, some people the earth takes. So it's not there, it disappears. Such is dunya. Eventually it's going to disappear. Whatever you have, whatever you get in it, it's not something permanent. So reflect to that. And finally he said, لا تستطيع أن تدخل الماء من غير أن تبتل منه. You cannot enter water without getting wet. Such is dunya. وكذلك الدنيا لا بد من أن تفتن بها وتبتلى. Such is dunya. You cannot live on this earth without going through trials and tests in this dunya. So this dunya to you, a test. You must go through it. Just like going water, you must get wet. You cannot avoid that, and this dunya is the same way. So you have three ways. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us, لَتَرْكَبُنَّ طَبَقًا عَنْ طَبَقٍ أي حالا بعد حال. You're definitely going to go through state to another. You're never going to be everything the same. That's why it gives hope for the poor that someday it's going to be rich, or he's going to have what he needs. And the rich person never to just feel يعني so proud of himself and so content and so relaxed that he's going to be rich forever. You don't know. Health is the same way. Wealth is the same way. Knowledge is the same way. You find some people knowledgeable and they go to the top, and all of a sudden what happened to them, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows. And one Sheikh Mashur, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him, gave an ayah from Surah Al-Bayyinah, وَمَا تَفَرَّقَ الَّذِينَ أُوتُوا الْكِتَابَ إِلَّا مِنْ بَعْدِ مَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْبَيِّنَةُ وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. He said that people never differ or get in trouble or fight or change and all that without knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them the knowledge first, then after that they deviate or they do what they do. And the cause for that is the next ayah. وَمَا أُمِرُوا إِلَّا لِيَعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ. Ikhlas. All the problems we have, it's because of ikhlas is not there. Sincerity, lack of sincerity in actions. You have the knowledge, you disseminate the knowledge, you acquire the knowledge, you have the knowledge, but how sincere are you with it? That's what counts. And that's why you cannot find the contentment or the state that where you feel the harmony and the love and everything amongst everyone, because not only you need knowledge, but you need ikhlas in that knowledge. So we need to go through this test in this life, and at the same time make sure you work on your ikhlas all the time. Make sure that what you do, it's only to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And I'm talking about each person individually, between you and yourself. When you feel you have ikhlas, that's when you don't have ikhlas. Which means you need to continue working on that until you meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because it can change just like dunya change, just like water change. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to keep us always sincere. When you speak, make sure that it is for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and such is everything. بارك الله فيكم جزاكم الله خيرا سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. السلام عليكم.